Here are three naive assumptions I had when I was a high school math teacher about leadership that were all quickly proven wrong once I became a junior high school assistant principal. First, I thought that the biggest challenge to making change would be awareness. Surely, after everyone knows there's a problem or sees an inequity, we would all come together to address it. I quickly learned that it takes a lot more than awareness to drive people into action. Second, I thought that I would spend the majority, like at least half of my day, in classrooms, and that maybe like 70% of my work would be around curriculum and instruction. Instead, a lot of my time was spent responding to crisis situations, addressing student behavior, and supporting staff in real time. I had to get really intentional about making time to be in the classroom. And three, I thought it would be the same, if not slightly easier, to build positive relationships with students as I had when I was a teacher. I knew the relationships wouldn't be as deep because I'm not seeing the students every day, but I didn't anticipate how much of a barrier and how heavy the title of assistant principal would be when it came to my interactions with students. Before I became a leader, all of my perceptions about staff capabilities, as well as my understanding of leadership, was limited to the coworkers and the leaders that I interacted with the most. Unconsciously, I was just so swept up into this idea that the best leader was the type of leader that I specifically needed when I was a teacher. But the reality is we're all different, and as a leader, to be effective, you have to differentiate towards adults as you would with students. Of course, saying it out loud and looking back, this seems so obvious to me, but I think all new leaders go through this phase where they realize they've had this unconscious belief that working with adults is going to be easier than working with students. And a lot of times I see new leaders start to feel like, wow, working with adults is actually way harder than working with students. However, all of the different strategies and understanding and differentiation we do for students, we don't do that for adults when we get into leadership. And the truth is we should be. Adults are just as diverse as students, and that doesn't change as you get older. They still need different varying levels of support. So if you're an aspiring leader or just going into leadership, the sooner you're able to recognize this, the better you can show up not only for staff, but also for yourself.